we're going to be making a Mickey Mouse Rosemary Topiary. So I got these at Michael's. The large one is 18 inches and the smaller ones are 12 inches. I got this thing of wire, and all together with using my 40% off coupon, they cost $13. So I have placed the ears evenly using the little marks here as guides to make sure it's all even, and I'm just going to take the wire and weave it all through and connect them. So I just used 4 1.5 feet pieces of that wire, and I tied them here at the joints here and here and here and here, and it's actually it's pretty strong. It's a lot stronger than I thought. I thought I'd have some wobble, but I don't. So we're good to go. Okay, so this is my herb tower. I have garlic chives on the bottom. I have my lemon balm for my tea in the morning. I have fresh basil that I like to put on just about everything. I have some lemon thyme that I just planted. I haven't used it yet. And then I have this lovely rosemary bush, and you can see here where I had attempted to try to do this without a frame, and so that didn't work out. So, oh, and I have around the back side here, I've got some lovely dill that I need to start eating. And so my idea is that I'm just going to place this little frame right here, and then start to tuck the rosemary in around it. But you can see it's flying forward here, so I'm going to find a way to sort of prop this up in between here. So I actually found these items, a little paint stirrer stick, and I just sort of stuck it through the thing right there, and it's kind of holding itself nice and tight. And then I have these little guys. Some of my ideas, and I'm going to stick this in the dirt, and then I'm going to use these little guys to tie it to the base of the rosemary, which is a really established plant already, so the bases are nice and thick. And yeah, so that's the idea. Let's see if it works. Okay, that actually worked out rather well. If you can see it, the stick rode right into the ground, and the pressure between the stick being on that and then tucked up underneath this little plant here. So yeah, it did a pretty good job. So now I'm just going to take these little things, like I said, and I'm going to lash it to the bottom here of the plant. Okay, well, I only ended up using 2, one on each side, just sort of a crude little fix there, but it seems to be good. It's nice and straight. So the next step is to untie this rosemary and start dressing it up. So you can see I just sort of very carefully just started weaving the individual rosemary branches. This was a strong one, so I kind of tucked it up here to help secure this whole thing, and then just sort of started wrapping them around. So I've got 1/2 of it done. I thought that I was going to have to use wire, but these really just sort of tucked right in here. I think having them bound up the way I did for a week helped them get all pliable, but I was able to really just tuck them around. Okay, so I've done the other side, so it's all completed, it's all tucked in. So now we just sit back and wait for it to grow in. So I thought I'd give you an update. It's been exactly a month. The tower looks really great. In fact, I just trimmed this basil. I'll insert a picture of it. It was like up to here. It was like up to here when we went away to Disney. Luckily, it rained like the whole time we were gone. So, but the past 2 days we've had an index of 111 and 117. And these little guys have been drinking up about a gallon of water per bucket. But they're living and they're surviving and they look great. But here's what I'm trying to show you. It's been a month since we did the topiaries. And so I've just been, as these little guys grow, I just sort of have been tucking them around and trying to fill in the middle. And I haven't cut anything yet. Not until it gets nice and full will I start trimming it. But yeah, it's looking good. Boys are swinging. view from the back. So, fun. We take a look at the Rosemary Mickey Ears project. I do need to trim my basil again. Stuff grows crazy, so I'm going to probably make some pesto today. But look, I've got some growth coming up above the ears. The sides are almost all filled in. Take a look around the back. Yeah, look, I got a lot of growth back there, so that's all filling in real nice. Okay, well, I actually trimmed the basil down quite a bit. It's really kind of hard to tell, but you can see a little bit more, and I took some time, and where I can tuck these guys in and wrap them around to keep continuing to fill up the middles, I've been doing so. I'll let these guys grow a little bit before I trim them so I can get that nice finished look. So it is September 16th, and here's how our ears have been. Over the months they have grown and filled in. You can see all the new lighter green stuff that's coming in that's going to fill in here. You can see where it's starting to grow up at the top, where I'm going to start to trim it again. Because let's face it, I don't use enough rosemary. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that project. It'll just keep continuing to growing in. And as I continue my garden series, we'll continue to check in on it for a little while. In a little bit. So working on my herb tower here has motivated me to try to get back to my vegetable garden. And so we will keep an eye on Mickey, the rosemary bush, as he continues to fill in. And we're going to walk over here to what was once a very lush garden. We have 14 containers. At one time I had tomatoes in most of them, and the whole fenced area here was covered in tomatoes. So I'm not going to do the whole thing in tomatoes again, but I will do some tomatoes along with everything else that I might want to eat. This has become a gorgeous butterfly area. They're not here right now, but there was many of them earlier this afternoon, so I'll try to capture some of that and show you. But this is a work in progress. You can see some of it is definitely overgrown, so we're going to clean it up. I have 14 buckets, and I have half of them are now cleaned and ready to go. So I'll clean them all and then let them sit for a little bit to make sure that one's got a lot of live stuff in it. But otherwise, to make sure all the live weeds are gone. Yeah. So if you want, go ahead and hit subscribe. I'm going to create a playlist for my garden series, so if you just want to follow that and you're not interested in my Disney videos, which I don't know how you could not be interested in Disney videos, but if you're not and you want to just follow my gardening, I will create a playlist and you can just follow the playlist. So for now, I'll say goodbye and we'll see you real soon.